Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
You know, it was a lot more fun when I had you here in Nashville at Top Golf and we got to hang out, and then you played a sold out show, but you got a brand new album now. And I've really been digging the tracks on here. Help, I'm Alive. And I want to talk about, kind of how you guys came up with, you did 3 albums because 1 or 2 albums was not enough during the pandemic.
That's right. We had all 3. And then we made another one just before we left to come on tour.
That's crazy.
Great thing about everything being shut down is, like, once the studios were actually open, we didn't really have the responsibilities of, picking up the kids from school or, taking care of them or anything. Like our spouses were at home, and Billy's daughter is homeschooled anyway. So it's really just my wife and kids having to be at home. And it's like, well, we had plenty of time. We could just go to the studio for 5 days at a time. Wow. and work. And we got so much stuff done that we just kept going. And, there's something really to be said for having everything shut down for creative people like us.
Well, and I got to bring this up too, guys, to where, and I know that, you and Billy Bob, work on these songs together. In fact, on the title track, Billy Bob, when you came up with the idea, you FaceTime JD, to play him this thing that you were working on. But the whole album is kind of like an emotional roller coaster, and I also hear a lot of your guys' influences, like kind of like some feels of Roy Orbison in there and maybe some Johnny Rivers, but it really seems like you put a lot of emotions into this album.
Yeah, I think it's an emotional roller coaster because we're emotional roller coasters. But yeah, it's just one of those records that it wasn't written about the lockdown or the pandemic or anything, but obviously influenced by things that were going on,
right?
And, because it wasn't only the virus that was happening, it was also there was a lot of social and political mess going on, and sort of everybody's so divided, and it was a time where we kind of lost the middle, and when people started to lose critical thinking. So some of the songs are all about that.
Yeah, and you can tell it too, Billy Bob, to where it's like, and certainly like the one song, where I feel you're talking more about your daughter, and I'm sure you guys, with some of the songs, talking about your significant others and your relationships. But like Real and some of these songs, but it's so fun. The lyrics are so well done on this. I got to ask you too, who did the album cover? Who sketched you guys out for that?
I'm glad you asked that. We have a friend back in LA named Chris Jimenez, and he's a good buddy of ours. He actually toured with us on one tour last year. And did our wardrobe and worked as a roadie because he'd always wanted to, go out on the road and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he's an artist. He works as a driver back there most of the time, but then he's got his own art studio, and he used to just airbrush things, and then we encouraged him to start painting and drawing, more. And so he drew the album cover. We gave him a couple of pictures, right, of us, and then said, hey, we want this to look like a pencil drawing of us, looking all moody and whatnot.
I couldn't help but think too, guys, that it's like, what a great thing for merch if you guys like had prints of that and did sign those while you're out on tour.
Well, there's also yes, we do.
See?
Something witty, but yeah, we did make tour posters, so it has that picture as well as all the tour dates for the whole tour in a poster form. So there's all sorts of stuff people can get: the album, the CD, the tour poster, and there's also a T-shirt with that picture on it, and it also has all the tour dates on the back because we are calling this the Help I'm Alive tour. So it just made sense to use that image as much as possible.
And I really like it. And once again, talking about the single and the name of the album, I thought it was so poignant because all of us, going through the last 2 years, and particularly when Billy Bob is singing it, going, help, it's like going, it's a cry for help, but it's also going, I'm still alive in here. We're all still, we're still alive. And for you guys to be able to get back out on the road and tour now and add so many of these songs to the set list. I know your fans, you sell out shows everywhere you go. And so you're playing your back catalog, but then to add in these new ones, and I think everybody the music is very cathartic.
Oh, cool. I'm glad you think so. And yeah, it's really good to be able to play the new songs, because the people who come to see us who are already fans, they've heard a lot of these songs over the years and they want to hear them again, but they love to hear the new ones. So we've got, probably 5 or 6 new songs we're doing in the set. And
and a few of them are new songs that we wrote starting last fall. We've got a new studio and we've just been cranking out tunes left and right now. So we finished a record right before we hit the road, or right before rehearsals. And the day that we left on tour, I dropped off the tapes at mastering so that we can get that record all finished up while we're out, and then work on the artwork, get ready for the release on that one, and figure out what we're going to do.
How incredible. And I got to bring this up too, JD. It's like you were here in Nashville for a while. Obviously, your first credit was with Guy Clark. Not a bad thing to be when you're engineering and working with sound. And then you made the leap out to LA to the record plant. Yeah,
no, absolutely. I met a really wonderful woman who her husband actually told me in LA to move, or I met him in Nashville and he said, you need to move to LA to really learn how to make records. And no dig at Nashville. That's just where he had come from. And he knew what I wanted to do. And I was after I did that Guy Clark record and a couple others, I was trying to find a more entry-level job in a studio because I've been working at a publishing company.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get a job in a studio. So he was like, you need to move to LA. And I was like, great. So the woman that hired me at my first studio job in LA ended up helping Billy as his music manager. And so she's the one who brought me in when he needed an engineer for 2 weeks, 16 years ago.
Wow.
So, ever since then, we've been hacking away. And honestly, it's like right now we feel like there's more momentum going behind the band than there was 16 years ago. It's like we've never stopped at it, but right now it's like there's a certain wind behind us kind of pushing us. And, part of it could just be the people coming out to the shows that are so excited to see music, so to hear stuff. And, it's just, everything is really going well. It's surprising. And, we're really excited that, people are coming out to see us and are having, kind of an exuberant reaction to what we're doing, because the music is, it's upbeat and beautiful sounding, even if some of the lyrics are a little bit more down and depressed sounding. But it's like the music is joyful. So, I think people really react to that.
Well, and what a great pairing, JD, with you and Billy Bob, like you said, working together for that 2 weeks. And then you guys just started working together as, writing songs and doing the music and everything. And a lot of people compared you guys to kind of doing early British invasion stuff, but with an American feel. And I feel like the new album is certainly more Americana and covers a lot more styles. And Billy Bob, a lot of people may not realize with you, it's like, you were in bands, doing music and everything all the way back to middle school. And so, you've been passionate about your music, obviously a great songwriter and singer and frontman for the Boxmasters. But, the movie and TV and all these other credits, that was kind of accidental because you always had the heart of a musician.
Yeah, I grew up in music, accidentally became an actor, and then sort of like somewhere in the middle figured out a way to do both. But we, honestly, in the last several years, I've spent more time just with the band than I have doing my side job.
That's a great when you can do that, though.
I'll do one,
Yeah, studio so much that honestly, doing anything else just gets in the way of us cranking out songs.
Well, and the great thing too with you guys working together, doing the music and the songs and everything for the Boxmasters, compared to Prince that had to keep an engineer on retainer in the hotel, you and Billy Bob JD just get together. You can do the engineering. You might have to pull in some people. You play the guitar. Billy Bob's bringing in the songs. You guys work everything out. It's like a 1-2 punch with creating music.
Yeah, we play all the instruments.
It's definitely cheaper that way.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, it's really just in the new studio. I mean, when we used to record out at in Hollywood at the studio just for years, we would have an assistant there, that's provided by the studio. But
yeah,
it's always been pretty much just me and JD, and now it's really just me and him. And
the last, these pandemic records, we couldn't really have guests come in to play with us. It was just us. We were taking our tests and going in, and then the assistant engineer would sit outside. It was just us in the studio. So really the last 4 or 5 records, it's just been us. We haven't had anything else. We've had on the Christmas record last fall, we kind of repurposed a couple of the songs and used tracks from buddies of ours like Brad Davis and John Rawhouse. But for the most part, we're just figuring out ways to finish these songs ourselves that's in a way that we're happy with. And that's from playing all the parts to mixing and recording and just getting it done. And then we call in our friends to do the artwork and then press them up and hit the road. So
what a great deal though. I mean, particularly that you guys are talented enough to play all the instruments and to be able to, sing the songs and create these, it's just, like I said, Help I'm Alive is such a unique album to me. And I got to bring this up too. You guys have obviously made a name for the Boxmasters in that you've opened for bands like ZZ Top, Willie Nelson, George Thorogood, Kid Rock, and you even played the Opry back in 2015. With this current tour, I got to ask, are you guys looking at playing some other big gigs with some other bands, maybe coming back to the Opry, maybe the Ryman?
Well, this tour, I don't think we're opening for anybody. There is one show that's not confirmed that will probably be announced later. That's a co-headliner bill with a great band that we love. I mean, the show's already booked. It's just that they're talking about getting both of us. And
it's a great band from East Los Angeles, if anybody knows who that is. A legendary band from East LA.
Yeah.
And
that we like very, very much. And so it'd be great to co-headline with them. But yeah, we've done a lot with, like you said, with ZZ and all those guys, and Steve Miller, and it's always great playing those shows. But what's really terrific is because this band's been around so long, mm-hmm. It used to be good for us because when we opened for somebody, we got to play in front of more people and to sold out places. Now the band's growing, and now we're selling out places and playing bigger places. So it's both things are satisfying. Mm-hmm. I guess the advantage to opening for somebody is if you've been on the road for about 2.5 months and you're dog tired, you only have to play 45 minutes.
Now, when you're the headliner, you got to play the whole show. So it's like, and like you said too, Billy Bob, it's like people are coming out to see just the Boxmasters now. And I think that's a statement with, the fan base that you guys have grown and with the albums you've put out and the 16 years out there touring to where, and particularly during the past 2 years, the pandemic, people couldn't go see live music. And everybody wants to get out now and see the live bands. And you guys are known for your live shows and how much fun you have on stage. I think that's what people come to see.
Yeah, I think our fans, who have been with us over the years, we actually have some super fans. I mean, kind of like Deadheads or the Grateful Dead, widespread fans, people like that see us a lot and always have all the gear on and the Boxmaster shirts and all this stuff. And
this tour, we've got one fan we know that came from Germany, and she's 4 or 5 shows. And so, it's really satisfying to have these really loyal, great fans that just love the band. and that they'll travel all over the country or the world to come see us. And honestly, it's not something we ever expected. It's really a cool thing. And we're really proud to have fans that are dedicated like that.
And you guys do a great job on your social media too. I always enjoy keeping up with you. I feel like it's kind of like it's a Where's Waldo, and I know JD, you do most of it. And so I always enjoy seeing the different pictures and videos, and not to put you guys on the spot, but I got to ask, with the new album dropped off and all, when do you think the next one is going to roll out?
Well, I'm going to call the label right after we get off this interview, actually, to kind of start setting up a date. We know we already have a tour starting to be put together for next spring and summer. So, I suppose it'll have to wait kind of until then, because that's really when you have the time to get out and promote the record.
Well, I want to make sure for our viewers that they know for the Boxmasters, where to be able to get the album, the website, the tour, the social media, everything you guys are doing. Where do they need to go, JD?
Well, it's www.theboxmasters.com. And from there, you can get to the tour dates. There's a page for that. There's also a link to the Instagram, which the Instagram handle is at _Boxmasters_official. And it's, just run by us. And there's a Facebook page that I don't know what the name is, but everything just kind of reposts from Instagram. So I just kind of don't worry about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I love the new album. So many great tracks on here. Can't wait to see you guys live again. Help, I'm Alive is out now, right now, by the Boxmasters. JD, Andrew, Billy Bob Thornton, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Eric. We appreciate it.
Good to see you again.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.